Trump raises tariff on India, but India doesn't bend. It builds new bridges. PM Modi is now fast-tracking a free trade agreement with the EU. And this comes even as the Russia-Ukraine war dominates global talks. Hi, this side Samaksh Namdev and you are watching the Free Press Journal. And today we are breaking down a very important story. On September 4, Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke jointly with the European leaders on a phone call. Their main focus was to speed up a free trade agreement between India and the EU. But the call also covered the Russia-Ukraine war. And all of this comes at the same time when Donald Trump has slammed India with record tariffs. So let's decode the full picture. PM Modi, EU Council President and EU Commission President spoke about two key things. First, the free trade agreement, and second, the ongoing war in Ukraine. On trade, all three agreed the FTA must be completed quickly. The agreement has been under talks for years, but now both sides are showing urgency. They did not just talk trade, they also discussed technology partnerships, green energy, defense ties, and supply chain security. And in a strong gesture, PM Modi invited both leaders to India for the next summit. That shows confidence. India is not waiting, it is moving forward. On Ukraine, the EU leaders stressed that India has an important role to play bringing Russia to end its war with Ukraine. So, the call was not just about economics, it was also about geopolitics. What exactly is a free trade agreement or FTA? It's basically a deal that reduces or removes tariffs between two sides, making it easier and cheaper to trade goods and services. For India, an FTA with the EU would mean boost exports of IT, textiles, pharma, and agriculture, attract more European investment, create new jobs and opportunities. And for the EU, the benefit is clear. India is one of the fastest growing economies in the world, and Europe wants a bigger slice of that market. So, this deal is not one-sided, it's a win-win. Now, timing is key. Just a week after the call, on September 11, EU Trade Commissioner is coming to New Delhi. His goal is to accelerate negotiations. Both India and the EU have set themselves a target: wrap up this deal by the end of 2025. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has also confirmed it. He said India wants a decisive conclusion.
Our conversations and our negotiations predate anything which has happened this year. It's something which has been going on for multiple years. And it's in our mutual interest that we lower tariffs and we find other ways of expanding our business and economic cooperation. Obviously, in today's climate, those efforts acquire a greater urgency. That's quite apparent. But it is an ongoing conversation, and I share the minister's desire, and in a way, I would even say optimism that we would like now the FTA negotiations. We hope that another round takes place fairly soon. We would like this to move to a decisive conclusion in the coming days, and we believe that this would be in our mutual interest. It will help stabilize the global economy. It will be a big factor there. It will be a kind of one of the elements of a ballast which today the world economy really needs.
That tells you something. India is not dragging its feet anymore. It wants results. Now the question is, why this sudden urgency? The answer lies in Washington. Donald Trump has imposed heavy tariffs on India, some as high as 50%. He has even targeted India's oil trade with Russia through secondary tariffs. This has created pressure on India's economy and trade. But instead of complaining, India is adapting. By pushing for the EU FTA, New Delhi is showing it has options. If one partner raises walls, India will open new doors. Now, the second big point on the call was the Ukraine war. For the EU, this is top priority. Europe is directly impacted by the war, economically, politically, and in terms of security. For India, the challenge is different. India has deep ties with Russia, especially in energy and defense, but also wants peace to return. By talking openly with EU leaders about Ukraine, Modi is balancing carefully, keeping ties with Russia, but also keeping the door open for cooperation with Europe. This is India's classic diplomatic strategy, multi-alignment, not one-sided alignment. This is not weakness. This is India diversifying its trade. For too long, India relied heavily on the US for certain sectors. But now, with tariffs creating uncertainty, India is looking at Europe with fresh eyes. And Europe too is looking at India. Because with slow growth in many EU countries, India offers the demand and opportunities that Europe needs. So, this is not about India begging for deals. It's about both sides strengthening their hands by coming together. And if this FTA is completed, it could become one of the biggest trade agreements India has ever signed. It would reshape supply chain, open new markets, and send a strong message to the world that India is confident, independent, and ready to play on the global stage. And for Trump, this is also a signal. Tariffs may hurt in the short term, but they will not stop India's rise. This said Samaksh Namdev, signing off with the reminder to stay always safe. Thank you for watching.